tired of wearing glasses, contacts, or reading glasses? At Cerruti Advanced LASIK and Eye Centers, we offer a state-of-the-art procedure that can immediately restore both your far and close-up vision, freeing you from contacts or glasses for the rest of your life. Pain-free, no anesthesia. Get back to work the next day. Dr. Cerruti, a celebrity eye surgeon, has restored vision to over 60,000 happy patients and can help you too. Call 310-474-2010, 310-474-2010.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, California's motorcycle lawyers.
Broadcasting across California with Nikki Lorenzo. This is Inside California Politics.
I'm glad you're with us this week. I'm Nikki Lorenzo in Sacramento. On the show today, we have new exclusive polling with our partners at Emerson College in the Hill on the redistricting ballot measure and also on the governor's race. We're going to go in depth on those numbers a bit later in the show, but I do want to show you where voters who were surveyed in this are right now on Prop 50. So the yes side at 51%, no at 34%, with 15% undecided. Emerson College polling director Spencer Kimball is coming up later in the show to break down those results. But first, my conversation with one of the faces of the Yes on the Prop 50 campaign, Senator Alex Padilla, who introduced new legislation this past week to ban mid-decade redistricting. So I asked him about that and also if he's still eyeing a run for governor. Senator Padilla, great to have you back on the show. I want to start with some legislation that you introduced this past week involving redistricting reform. So first of all, articulate your goal here, and then considering the makeup of the Senate and Congress, how likely do you think this is going to go anywhere?
Look, the current redistricting battles in California, Texas, et cetera, notwithstanding, we've known all along that the best way to fairly redistrict is to do it once every 10 years after the census, and to have an independent body do this so that we take the politics out of drawing the lines. It should be the voters choosing their representatives, not the other way around. It's a proposal that's been in front of Congress before, has been approved by the House of Representatives when Democrats are in the majority. Sadly, Republicans have not wanted to vote for it, but it's a critical reform for the future of our democracy. And I think with all the attention happening around redistricting right now in multiple states, now's the time to advance this, and we invite our Republican colleagues to get on board.
Okay, with that being said, for people that are watching this conversation, they know that you are in favor of the ballot initiative that's going to go before voters in this special election, Yes on 50, even appearing in some of the ads for it. So I just want to ask you, for folks that might be saying, well, wait a minute, you're for Prop 50, but you want independent redistricting. How do you square the two?
Yeah, no, that's a very fair question. And so again, let me be clear. The ideal scenario is for all 50 states to have that independent redistricting every 10 years after the census. But we see that's not what's happening now. Donald Trump made a phone call to the governor and legislative leaders in Texas and demanded find me 5 more Republican seats. Kind of sounds like when he called the Georgia Secretary of State and said, find me 11,000 more votes. California's only doing this because of what Texas has done. And we know that the stakes, not just of democracy in general, but of our health care, our environmental protection, so much more is at stake, that this is going to be the best way to ensure we can rein in Donald Trump. Under normal circumstances, a party in power would be running on their record and all the things that they think they have done to improve people's lives in America. The opposite is the case. Republicans under Donald Trump's direction is hurting access to health care. It's rolling back environmental protections. It's violating due process rights and our fundamental civil rights with these indiscriminate, racially profiling immigration raids, not just in Los Angeles, not just in California, but elsewhere. The best way to do it is to make sure that we provide that check and balance after next year's midterm elections. And Republicans know this, which is why they're trying to rig the midterm elections before they even begin. So California's not going to stand back. We're going to fight back because too much is at stake for Californians and for the country.
Former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger made some news earlier this week when he spoke at his institute, and he is against this redistricting ballot measure. And he basically said, you don't fight Donald Trump by becoming Donald Trump. Two wrongs don't make a right. What do you say to that?
Trust me, I have no desire to be anything like Donald Trump, first and foremost. Second, California is only doing this because Donald Trump has demanded that Texas deliver the 5 Republican seats that he asked for. If Governor Abbott and the Texas legislature did not go along, California wouldn't have done this. But we know there's so much at stake, not just for California, but for the country, that we have to fight back. You know, two wrongs don't make a right. I get that, but letting one wrong carry the day would be disastrous if it's Donald Trump.
I want to move on now and ask you a follow-up to a conversation we had on this show in July when you came on and you broke the news that you were reintroducing legislation that would deal with immigration reform here in the state of California for our statewide audience. And I'm just curious, it was multi-level, had multi-levels to it. Where does that stand? And it would provide a pathway to citizenship, and it was bipartisan also. A lot of news breaking over the past couple of weeks. I just want to update our viewers. Where does that stand right now?
Right. So we have introduced what's known as the registry bill, right? Just amending an existing law in federal statute that would provide a pathway to some protections and eventual legalization for millions of undocumented immigrants who have been in the United States for 7 years or more, have paid their taxes, don't have violent criminal history, etc. The reason it's been bipartisan is because it was last acted upon by Republican President Ronald Reagan. And given not just the overreach of this administration and how they've advanced the mass deportation agenda, not just their violation of the constitutions, lack of due process, racial